So your sales team is probably using AI right now. I mean, they're drafting emails, building proposals, and closing deals faster than ever. But here's the scary part. What if those exact same tools could be used by a competitor to steal your most valuable deals right from under your nose? Okay, let's dive into this because it's a huge security risk you need to know about. And just so you know where we're getting this from, everything we're about to cover in this explainer comes straight from Chapter 3 of the tutorial on AI data extraction threats published by Virtualization Options LLC. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why sales data is basically the crown jewels of any company. Then we'll get into how AI is both a friend and a foe. We'll look at the sneaky ways deals actually get stolen, and then the important part, a real framework for how to defend yourself. And we'll wrap up with what might be the most critical piece of the puzzle, your people. Okay, so first things first, let's really get our heads around why the sales department is such a high-value target for attackers. It really all boils down to the information they handle every single day. I mean, just think about it for a second. Everything a competitor would absolutely love to know is sitting right there. Who your customers are, what you charge them, the special terms you offer, and what your revenue looks like for the next quarter. All that intelligence in one place? That makes your sales team a goldmine for anyone trying to get a leg up. And what's really interesting here is how this chart breaks down the risk. Yeah, losing a customer list is bad, no doubt. But you can see that exposing your specific pricing information, that's in a whole other category, very high risk. A competitor can take that data and use it against you immediately to undercut your quotes and snatch deals that are already in motion. So now let's get into the tricky part. How do these amazing tools, the ones that are supposed to boost productivity, suddenly become your biggest security nightmare? It really is a classic double-edged sword. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one hand, you've got this incredible promise. AI helps your team close deals faster, write better emails, and strategize more effectively. Who doesn't want that? But on the other hand, every single time a sales rep feeds prospect details or deal terms into an AI, they're potentially pushing that sensitive info into a system that could be compromised. So how does this actually happen? How do the bad guys get in and steal a deal? Well, it's not some big, loud, alarm-blaring event. It's a methodical process, and it's designed to be quiet and fly completely under the radar. You see, it starts with those everyday tasks. Attackers can use clever tricks, sometimes called prompt injections, to fool the AI into giving up sensitive details from the emails your team is writing. Then they move on to proposals. That's where the real meat of a deal is. You know, the pricing, the customer's specific needs, all of it. And finally, they can even target AI tools that analyze your CRM data, basically giving them a full picture of your entire sales pipeline. And look, this isn't just some theory. This is a real quote from a VP of sales. A $5 million deal, gone. And why? Not because they had a worse product, but because their exact pricing got out. And it got out through the very AI tool their sales engineer was using to try and be more efficient. That's devastating. Okay, so after hearing that, you might be tempted to just ban all AI, right? But that's not the answer. You can't slow your team down. The real key is to build a defense that protects your data without killing your sales velocity. Let's look at a framework that does exactly that. An effective strategy has to have multiple layers. You start with tiered access, so not everyone gets the keys to the entire kingdom. Then you give your team pre-approved templates, which makes doing the right thing the easy thing. You also need real-time monitoring to catch risky stuff as it happens, not a month later. And this last one is so important. Mandatory data purging, which limits how much history an attacker can even find. Let's just double-click on that last point for a second because it is so critical. By automatically deleting those AI chats after a deal closes, or maybe after just 30 days, you dramatically shrink the attack surface. It's pretty simple, right? If the data doesn't exist anymore, it can't be stolen. It's one of the easiest and most powerful things you can do. But here's the thing. You can have all the best technology in the world, but it won't matter a bit if your team isn't prepared. Your sales reps, they are your first line of defense, and honestly, they're your last line of defense too. We're talking about building a human firewall. And listen, this can't be that generic, boring security training that everyone just clicks through to get it over with. No way. It has to be tailor-made for the sales world. You need to train your reps to spot when a prospect is maybe fishing for information, to know what details should never go into an AI prompt, and to recognize suspicious requests before they cause a problem.
So, to wrap this all up, there really is no single silver bullet here. If you want to safely use the power of AI in your sales process, it has to be a combination of things. Smart technical controls like data purging, clear policies that everyone understands, and ongoing training that's actually relevant to the high stakes world your sales team lives in.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. That AI tool that your number one salesperson absolutely loves, the one that's helping them crush their quota month after month, could it also be the biggest, most unlocked door into your company's most sensitive deal intelligence? It's definitely something to think about.